Are live.
Hey, it's an Elsewhere podcast.
Finally.
Yeah, I know. We're having fucking tech issues out the ass today.
Been crazy. And then get this. Miser died.
Motherfucker, it's still not playing any audio.
That's it.
Oh, what's up, y'all? Is there? I've been having tech.
Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Welcome to another podcast. We're here with Nampson, and we have all been having a morning or an afternoon, whatever it is.
A day.
We are on camera, of course, which if anything looks crazy, oh well.
Oh, there we go. I can hear things again. Praise God.
Hey.
What's up, y'all? Technical difficulty city in this bitch.
Yeah,
Holy
even
shit.
of the mouth on all of our
Yeah,
parts
right?
too.
There's no winning today.
Yeah. But that's okay. We're not here to win today. We're here to look like fools.
I win every
Just for
day.
you guys.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Exactly.
My cat is sitting right here, staring at me. Like he's head level. Touching him right now.
He's scoping out the situation.
Happening. Anyway.
What a creep.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Sorry about that. That was fun. Audio, the video, actually, I got the video set up first. And then, Bill, you're so funny. I got the video set up first, and I had a second screen, and apparently that messed with my audio. Then I was panicking until I turned off the screen, and then now that his audio didn't work. His audio didn't work.
It's been a time.
So anyway, it's good to have you, Nampson. We've been chasing you around.
Yeah, they've been messaging me for so long to do this, and I've been so busy, and I'm so sorry, y'all. I've been wanting to, I really have.
Yeah, we're happy to have you, man.
Nice pussy.
Oh.
Dude, my mom's in here.
Oh no, she's
My mom's
getting
like,
taken
no,
over
I'm
by the green
out.
screen.
He's like, I'm out. That's my cat. He's curious, so. Anyway.
What's its name?
Ready. Prince Frederick, meow meow.
Prince Frederick.
Freddy.
Meow meow. I like that.
Prince Frederick, meow meow. Like he's royalty, y'all.
Evidently, I'm in the presence of greatness.
Oh, now
and I came ill prepared.
I'm so ticked off. I just filled this, got a brand new little atomizer, and it's dead.
Oh. That is always the worst.
It's heartbreaking.
It's okay. I'll be fine. Fine. It's fine. No, anyway. But yeah, we have definitely been chasing Nampson to get onto the podcast quite a while. Trying to get him on ever since, and I can't even remember. I think it was on XMC's channel. Heard it first, and I think Skullz and I were in there at the same time when we heard it. So
yeah, I believe you're right. Yeah, dude, you're fucking talented.
Thank you. I've improved a lot since y'all have heard me. I unfortunately don't have much out, but I've been working on a lot, so it's changed up a lot, big time.
out of curiosity, I did notice. I mean, it's obvious, and I've just asked you this question. I talked about it before, but was there a reason that you just kind of like went and rebranded and like did a full kind of reset?
I mean, there's a million reasons. One of the things is that I've had that channel since 2009. The one that I deleted, and it's been with me through every content shift I've made through the past 12 years, 13 years, and my algorithm on that channel is just completely fucked. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons people say to me like, "Oh, I bet you wish you didn't delete your channel now." And I'm like, "No, I'd still do it." Like, because getting to have like a whole ass new algorithm is really nice. Like it's like a fresh start. And then as for like deleting the music, a lot of the stuff that I had made back then was stuff that I felt like I had to be making because it was just like what I personally was listening to at the time. And like I realized I wasn't really like making music to make artwork. I was making music because like I thought it's what I wanted to do, and the way that I wanted to do was very like mimicry, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Was that a bird or a cat or a pillow? What the fuck just happened? What just swooped through like an eagle through your frame?
it was my cat. He walked around and then he comes back this way and he just jumped over my laptop for no reason. He just was like,
I was
He's a king. He doesn't need a reason.
he's
I
a
was gonna
prince.
say it looked like he jumped through like he was on a vine swinging through like Tarzan.
No, he just jumped right over my laptop right there. That was great. I mean, I saw him staring at me, and then he just like, I didn't want to make any sudden movements and him like turn off the stream because that would be my life. But no, I understand that completely, especially on one hand about the algorithm, and on the other hand about just saying, you know what, if I'm gonna go ahead and do this, I'm gonna do it all, and I'm just gonna wipe the slate clean and go from there, because you are really talented, and not everyone
Thank you.
put out, you know, is something that you necessarily want. I'm not saying in my opinion, but your perspective is something out there because you want to. And
Yeah.
especially, like I said, if you're gonna wipe that algorithm anyway, might as well go and do everything.
Exactly. And like the other aspect of it too is like I'm still really young. I mean, I like to think that I am. I'm coming up on 26. So I guess I'm getting old, but I don't know. Like for me, I don't really think I found out exactly who I was until recently, and really accepting myself for who I am. And so like I think that being said too is like I didn't really know what kind of music I actually should have been making because I didn't make the music that I was feeling, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense because you see a lot of artists go through that transition where they start where they think they need to be, and then they kind of go into where they want to be, and then that transition gets captured forever and they don't have a choice. Like it just, and I get it's part of their journey, but you have the opportunity, you might as well,
Yeah.
you might as well kind of fix that if you get to.
Exactly. And that's almost exactly like verbatim what I was thinking on that like line of topic. And what's really cool too is there's like so I've been working on an album lately, and it's like the first project I've actually been pursuing in years that's like almost done. Um and like a lot of the songs will reference other songs that I've made in the past. But to me it's really cool, like you don't get to know about that, you don't get to share in that experience unless you heard the song before, like unless you were there when those songs were around.
Like, and if you know, you know.
Exactly.
And that's cool, especially if you're a fan, because then you're kind of in on it, and it
Yeah.
makes the future songs more rewarding as well.
Exactly.
Oh, by
And
the
who
way,
knows, maybe I'll re-release those things one day.
shout out to the chat. I'm sorry I didn't do that. I was frustrated. That was me. Coming in here, we just wanted to go ahead and get started. Like I said, my mom's here, Matt's here. I see, Champagne Rain, Jared is going to fly by, Jiminator. Bill is in here. I can't touch any of my screens, so I can't talk, chat, or anything of that nature because it will mess up. So until I get that locked down, that's just. I appreciate y'all being here on it. And yeah, my mic has decided to be a pain in my butt lately. Just because why not?
Why? What's it
It
doing?
can go wrong. It will go wrong.
That because like I have
Is that
to.
Murphy's Law?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
have my laptop's here. My video is here, right? Right here. My mic is right here, so I have to be like this, and then guarantee my voice. If I turn like this, sometimes it'll cut out when I'm talking. because of
The
my
gate.
yeah, my gate. But
Mm.
it is what it is. It'll be fine.
It'll be
Oh,
okay.
you hear me cutting out as I'm speaking, like right now, when I don't hear it cutting out at all.
Yeah, you're crystal clear coming through our end, I believe.
That
It could.
that's because the gate is on Stream Elements.
Yeah, you might have to turn it
So
down a little bit.
I'm good.
the
I'm good.
sad face.
I'm good. Nope.
I'll help you figure it out later after the podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, in all honesty, see, I can see and I mean, I'm not really trying to make it a technical issue live, but I can see my bar moving. Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. You see the bar moving, and it's clean. It's not stopping. It's not dropping. It's not like it does when the gate kicks in.
Mm.
So I'm not sure, but that's okay.
I'm so
Well, just-
sorry, Kat.
It's okay. But no, I
Gonna be
really.
how it is.
There was a point in time where I went to go look for your music and couldn't find it. I was so mad because it was like a perfect moment to. I can't remember who I was sharing it with, and I was like, "You got to check him out." And I went and everything. I was like, where did everything go? I knew
Yeah.
about the YouTube channel, but I figured it was still on. I figured it was still on Spotify, and that's what messed me up is when I realized it wasn't on Spotify.
So all of my music is actually still on a platform somewhere, a single one platform, and it is listed as public. And I'm not gonna tell anybody where it is, but it is findable. It is very, very findable. That's all I gotta say. It's out there. Yeah.
Okay. Just make a mental note.
Dude, seriously? That was my cat again.
Hey, what's up, Larry?
I see Larry Blindsight Kitty came in. But no, here's the thing. You're around a lot in like Alpha Tyler's streams. You know, that's where I see you the most, in all honesty. You know, playing Among Us, just hanging out, chatting, doing stuff like that. Have you like been considering collabing with people, or do you just kind of hang out now? Like, you're making your own music, or like, what are you working on now?
So right now I'm working on an album called Phases. And I don't want to tell too much of the album because it's a passion project. It's the first time in a while I felt like genuinely like so motivated to make music like for myself. And every single song on this album has like a meaning. None of these songs are like filler songs that are just there to, oh, I made this dope song. Like no, I've actually cut down from songs that were initially on the album because I felt like they didn't really tell the message the whole way through. Like my goal of this album is without directly explaining the entirety of the concept, the idea of phases is to kind of highlight my own personal experience of like learning how to live life and learning how to be like an adaptive member of a partnership, like a relationship. And so like the songs are kind of meant to highlight all the ups and downs that happen through that time period, as well as like the ideals that you have going into a relationship or what parts of like what life would be like, if that makes sense.
No, I get it. And I mean, honestly, you don't have to share anything you don't want. Curious if like, because you know, people take breaks and hiatus, and they just kind of hang out and chill out with people and just
Yeah. I mean
like
I
kind of
really
reset a little bit. And that could be if that's what you know you're doing. But if you're actually working on stuff, I think that's awesome because it
yeah.
would break my heart if you didn't work on anything ever.
Oh no, I've been so more motivated than I've ever been to work on music. And what you said about working with other people, I do plan on it. It was just like this was something that I had to do these songs and get it done like exactly how I wanted them to do. Like I think I only have one feature on the album right now, and that might even get like cut. Um, just because like it's something that's so personally like needs to be done a specific way. You know what I mean?
No, I completely get
Yeah,
that.
if it's something personal, I completely get that. I mean, my first album was pretty personal, and I kept the collaborations pretty minimal. I mostly just got collaborations because, well, I mean, of course, I like the people that I work with, but just for time constraints because I really wanted to get it done, you know. And I was like, you know what, this person would sound good here, this person would sound good here. Let's get it going. But ultimately, it was like, yeah, this is a very personal album. I want to tell my story, and I mean, if you're trying to tell your story, it should be your story.
Yeah.
You should be speaking for yourself, not other people. So I 100% get what you're saying.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That makes me happy. It's one of those things where once it's done, I know it's gonna be done right. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and especially like if you took the time to do this reset, uh, when you come back and you put out there what you want to put out there, it needs to be fully, unapologetically, unequivocally you.
Yeah, facts.
You know, so you might as
Exactly.
well take the time to put into it and do what really resonates with you personally. Put you out there. I turned my light on and now I feel like I'm glowing.
The exposure's a little high. Do you have it set to auto exposure?
Oh, I have my ring light over there. I haven't never used it. It's still in the package. But I turned the light up in my kitchen because, like I said, shut up. Um, and it has these three bulbs that are right here. Done glowing. That was fun.
It looks good now.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't need to light up
It's
like a
kind
glow
of good
stick.
shade there.
Well, one thing that surprised me is we were talking the other day, and you're like, "Well, I'm up at like 7 every morning," and
Usually earlier.
I have some people that are in the community. Like we all get up around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning because we all say hi and stuff like that. And then
Mhm.
other people, they come in at like noon, 1 o'clock. I mean, for some reason, because you're up so late, whenever I would see you on other channels, like with like Alpha Tylers or playing games and stuff, you'd be up at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So for me, that's just shocked me that you're up early, like up and motivated, because a lot of people aren't.
Um, I'm an insomniac. I have major insomnia. It's actually something that I've struggled with most of my life. Um, my first album I put out was actually titled Insomnia Dreams. Um, and that was one of my most like popular songs as well. And it's been like a blessing and a curse. Like, for me, like I'm so motivated to constantly be doing things. When I'm awake and not doing things, I feel like I'm wasting my time. Um, so like I can't just sit still. I can't just sit and play video games. Like I have to be socializing with people. I have to be doing like work in my craft. So like my brain really only allows me to sleep like 3 to 5 hours a day. So it's like at that point I'm up. I might as well be doing things, you know.
And Larry,
Shout out to all the chat homies.
Do you find it that you're more creative at night? Because I do.
Fuck no. That's um
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it used to be that way for sure. Um, but lately I've had so much responsibility in my life. Like, that's one of the reasons why I get up is so early is because like I'm in the midst of starting a business, uh, a weed company. Um,
no.
but yeah, it's been
Hey,
going very well actually too. And and so like that being said, it's just me and a homie and then like a couple of our close friends that we do all the stuff with. So there's so much work that needs to be done constantly that I forget where I was going with that. Fuck. That's the other problem of smoking a lot of weed. Your brain, your goldfish brain. What was the question again?
You,
I was asking if you were more creative
Oh,
at night.
right, right. No,
Yeah.
so when I get up and I'm fucking bussing throughout the day, like that's when I'm like after my brain has had like 2 hours to turn on, that's when I'm juicing. I'm like, I gotta get stuff done. And when I'm in that kind of state of like Fiero, I'm good to go. Like I can write all the I get the craziest concepts and bars that come to my head, and I'm like, yo, nobody's ever thought of that before.
Mhm.
And then at nighttime, I'll be like, all right, let's write something. The cat in the hat, and that was that. All right, bars. You know what I mean? Like, my brain is dead at that point.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely more creative at night, but I do feel what you're saying, like, because in the morning I'm like dead. I'm so not a morning person. But the minute you kind of kick in and you get into that state where you're awake, yeah, I can write then.
Yeah, that's when I
But
find my best
mornings, fuck
writing
that.
comes out.
Between the moment I wake up in the morning, 3 to 5 p.m., I pretty much I get everything done. It's super easy for me early, and I'd rather get up at 3 in the morning than stay up until 3.
But yeah, I get that. I get that 100%.
Even though I do it sometimes.
I used to work at Chick-fil-A, and I was the opening shift manager. And I would get up at 4 a.m., take my ADHD medicine, go back to sleep for 30 minutes, then wake up at 4:30, and then get ready to open up for Chick-fil-A at 5:30, and it was the worst experience of my life. uh, but yeah, no, I feel it though. It's easier to like get up at a certain time if versus go to bed at a certain time.
Well, I prefer it because then I'm more productive before my kids get up.
Yeah, yeah, and that's another big thing. If
As
you,
much as
especially if
much as I can do before they like are up and around, I'm more productive because then there's what they're doing. I wonder what's happening. I wonder, and also I'm not gonna
right,
lie, it's before the community on Discord wakes up too. Really invested in the people there.
right, you don't want to get distracted by that.
I definitely get distracted by that all the
I do.
time. And so when I'm up super early, there's like I say hi, and then I get the what in the hell are you doing up this early? Answers like 3 hours, 4 hours later, but I get all my stuff done then, you know.
Yeah, facts.
Or dude, I swear to God, if you jump over my laptop,
I didn't see him that time.
he's done it 3 times, and now he's here. See, he comes here across this way. He's over here now, about to do it again.
They say the reasons cats will sit on your laptop or like be around your laptop is because they're trying to emulate you being on your computer.
No, he's just an asshole, and he wants me to go give him more food.
I mean, yeah, there's that too, I
Food.
guess.
Stop messing with. Oh my! I'm gonna make
Real
my
quick
daughter come get
question.
my cat in a second. Hold on.
Am I allowed to smoke on here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't want to take a fat bong rip and you'd be like, "Hey there, Nampson, don't do that."
I was hoping we would hear it.
Nah.
I'm getting my daughter to get my cat right now, so that's why I'm.
Nah, you're good.
And if I may make a non-sponsored fucking plug here, if y'all like to smoke bongs and shit, grab yourself a freeze pipe, all right? This thing is crazy. It's filled with glycerin. You detach this bitch right here. You throw it in the freezer, and then you put it in here, and this shit stays cold as fuck. I don't know if you noticed that. I didn't even fucking cough from that massive bong rip. Ooh, I feel great. Non-sponsored.
You're trying to get a sponsor.
Trying to get that sponsorship.
I end up getting me a sponsor, and I don't even smoke.
Hey,
Get one from me, and we want ASMR. Oh wow. Okay.
I don't know about all that.
That was an unsuccessful snaggage of my cat. If you notice me ducking and diving like a crazy person, that's what I was trying to do. He won. However, but no, it's just
Slippery bastard.
exactly. I have no idea what that is, but okay. Because see, generally, I don't smoke, and I want to bring this up because I can, and you'd be a perfect person to talk to about it. To be I think there's a big difference between like I don't care what people don't do. I don't care. your thing. If you like to smoke, smoke. If you need it because you need it for a reason, don't say you need it for a reason just because you feel bad about smoking because you like it.
I
Like
just
that's
like to get high.
okay. So there's that. But my point is like, I have a big issue when there's people that do content that are 100% hands down everything is completely revolving around the fact that they're smoking. It's not that is their content. Now if I wanted to click on that because I like smoke and I think that's funny or fun or whatever, that's one thing. However, it's like, for example, if you're an artist and you literally base every single thing that you do around smoking weed because you know what I mean?
It becomes your brand.
Right. And I personally don't usually click on that stuff. That's my choice because I don't smoke. So to me, I'm like,
Facts.
you know, like I just sit there. But on the flip side, it's not like I have anything against it. It's just do you.
Right.
Like it's your choice. Do what you want to do.
Facts. And
You
that's
know?
I'm not like the kind of person that's like, oh, you don't smoke weed? Wow. I bet you drink a whole lot. That wow. Man, you'd be a lot better off. It's like, nah, everybody does their own shit. Like it's cool. Um,
Yeah, because
and I think that's the thing. Like people just give a fuck too much, and it's just like if people just gave a fuck about each other's business less, oh man, we'd be so much better off.
of course, here I am running a podcast trying to dive into people's business
That's different. That's different.
with your
But you're
permission.
tolerant. But
Mhm.
you're tolerant.
That's
Thing.
true.
And when you're tolerant, that's you know, you can compromise with people more. And
Yeah, because there's a difference between like wanting to know someone's business and wanting to understand someone's business. You know what I mean?
Right. Like I'm not
facts,
doing it just
facts.
so that I have like all the details so that I could be like, oh my God. It's literally just because I want to get to know you better and I want other people that don't know you yet to get to know you so that when you do drop your album, when you do start dropping songs again, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I know him. And they're going to check it out and say, oh yeah, everybody said he was fire and they're right. You know what I mean?
One thing that I extra special love about these kind of interviews, I love watching them. I love watching your guys' pod. Like I don't talk a whole lot in the chat when I do watch these things, but I do like typically have you guys on while I'm working. Like I always try to catch these because I love hearing this type of thing where you get to talk to an artist that does make music. Because one thing that I find is it's really crazy. There's been so many musicians, not even just rappers, but like people that I will listen to, and I'm like, I don't really fuck with their music. And it's because like their music kind of gives off a tone to me that I perceive maybe in a way that I don't really like the way they're talking to me in their music. And then I hear them in an interview. I hear like how they speak, the way they hold themselves, the things that they believe. And then I listen to that music again and I take a whole different takeaway from it. I understand them more as a person. And I'm like, yo, I get that now. I understand. And like I've grown to love so many more artists through interviews, through watch. So like for you doing this kind of shit for people, it's awesome. I think what you guys do with this is so sick. Like for real.
No, I appreciate that. I just feel like there's a lot of people out there that obviously, I mean, we started off with reactors because that's who I knew best. You know, and then content creators, so people that aren't quite just reactors, you know, so there's that little medium. And then bringing on, we did the rap competition and artists, bringing them on as well. And then, you know, now I've brought authors on because I absolutely love the creative process that I have nothing to do with. I'm not creative in that manner. Like I don't create words, I don't create lyrics.
Can I give you a small suggestion that I think would be really cool to see too? You have like a lot of people that are active regularly in the chat that are listeners of like everyone. Bring them on and ask them opinions of their music they listen to, of things that they look for in art. Like I think that'd be so cool hearing from a listener's perspective too, you know?
That's actually something we're planning on doing. That's something I have
Hell
in
yeah.
the works. Actually, I'm not sure if I have the thumbnail for it yet, but that's gonna happen. We have stages where we'll bring people up. Like we had a support one. Like what to you is, I don't know if you saw that one where what do you as like a reactor or an artist, what do you consider what helps you the most versus the community? What do they feel like? Okay, well, I can't monetarily buddy. However,
Yeah.
you know, I would love to support you in another way. What is the best way to do that? Well, my time is huge, right? because time is finite. It's
It's the only thing you can't get back.
exactly. So people giving the time, showing up, being here
It's everything.
is everything.
Sharing it,
Espe-
taking their time to share it, show other people. It's amazing. It's the biggest thing you can do if you don't have financial support.
And even if you stop by for 2 seconds, drop a like, and then share it somewhere, that's cool too. Like any of it works for me. But the people that are here consistently all the time, um, they are regulars. They come through quite often, and I do want their opinions. That's like what the Discord's kind of for. However, being in the middle of a move right now, kind of, sort of like getting prepared to like uproot our lives and go move in with my mom. It's all this stuff is happening in the next like. So
Oh, yes, that's
it's
crunching things down.
so it's super stressful. So I'm trying to like take it.
Yeah.
No, it's like not the behind the music. It's more like you don't even have to talk
Getting
about
to
music if you
know.
don't want to. If you want to just talk about your
Yeah.
dogs, you know what I'm saying? Like do that. Whatever conversation goes, just to get to know you as a person, personality, and just the way you think, because you're super intelligent. In fact, you're
Thank you.
super intelligent when you're really royally high, which is not always the case with people.
See, that's the thing about weed. Let's end this stereotype, y'all. All right, weed doesn't make you stupid. A lot of stupid people smoke weed. All right, that's the thing. All right, you
Let me
can
clip
be
that.
look, yeah, right.
That's
Fucking
a good
quote
clip.
Nampy on that. Let me put that on a shirt. Like I think about Joe Rogan, Elon Musk. These people that have been public about smoking weed that can have an intellectual conversation and actual like I'm baked as a motherfucker right now. It doesn't mean I can't talk to you. I might have a moment where I gotta search for a fucking word or I forget something. But it's like I feel like there's so many great things about weed, and now they're proving all these different neurotropic connections that it makes, and in terms of helping developmental things happen and restoring neuroplasties in the brain, which is essentially allowing your brain to heal itself. And it's like there's constantly all this new study coming out, and like you look at the government's view on weed before, it was like they had it as I mean, it's still a Schedule 1 controlled substance,
Right.
meaning it has no medical benefit in the government's eyes, whereas methamphetamine and cocaine are listed in a category below that, having medical benefit. It's like, well, okay, government, thank you for knowing what's good for me.
And see,
That also cracks me up because of like what the government basically says is a healthy diet nowadays in terms of like carbs, proteins, fats. I'm like, bro, you guys are still recommending 45 to 65% carbohydrates. It's like, dude, that's so not the way to go.
It's why the diet they recommend is intentional. You look at what these foods do to the human mind, and it's proven that Western food and processed food makes you stupider. Uh, Fluoride in drinking water, which is I think it's 90% of the United States' drinking supply. Fluoride fucks up your pineal gland; it calcifies it. If you look at a, a, a pineal gland with fluoride versus without it in it, you'll see one is a literal rock. It turns your geometric center of your brain into a rock, and it's been proven too that fluoride makes you more subservient. It's been proven that Hitler and Stalin were pumping fluoride into the water supply to make people more subservient and willing to obey. And it's like they're doing it literally to the United States, and it's like they they tell you, oh, eat this diet, eat this junk, this garbage, drink this fucking water, and obey. And it's literally what people do, and it's mind-boggling. And that's what I'm saying. Like things like psilocybin. I'm a huge activist for the legalization of mushrooms. And people think it's like, oh, it's some hippie shit. Oh, he wants to trip and see colors and trade. It's nothing like that. That's the recreational usage that people who abuse these things, you know, will call it. They'll see, they'll do. But it's like the actual intellectual properties of something like this. Psilocybin's been proven to be able to increase IQ points by 5 to 10 points, which is huge. And again, it's been shown to help fight Alzheimer's, help cure depression, cure for as long as up to 6 months versus taking an antidepressant you have to take every single day. And yet it is again listed as a Schedule 1 controlled substance with no medical benefit. And it's like,
You know Paul Stamets, right?
oh, of course.
Did you hear his anecdote about it curing his stutter?
Yes. Yeah, oh my God. Fantastic
That
Fungi
there's a
documentary is amazing.
It's one of the craziest things I've ever heard, that he just flat out had a stutter,
It made me cry,
then
bro.
tripped, and then he was completely cured of it.
That story
Insane.
literally brought tears to my eye. Like, and it's because it's so sad. Something that has these true potential. And again, it's literally one of the amazing things about psychedelics is it turns off the default mode network of your brain, which the only other time that that's not active is during developmental stages as a child. So you literally put yourself back into a childlike state of mind, and your brain is forced to then uh, create new connections. It's like if you look up a brain scan image of your brain before LSD and after LSD, and you see the parts of your brain that become active, it's insane. And it's when you think about that, what that literally is, that is immediate evolution. Your brain is evolving to fit a new scenario that has happened. And so I personally think that that is vital for the next stage of humanity. Where human will go from Homo sapien to the next level will happen from the next expansion of brain capacity. And how else is it going to happen, you know? It's not going to happen through eating this 40 to 70% carbohydrate diet.
Yeah, exactly. And dude, let me ask you this, back to what you were saying about the calcification of the pineal gland. Have you heard about iodine helping flush all that out?
Not iodine specifically. I haven't heard about that, but there's a million different things you can take that help remove calcification from your pineal gland.
Right back. I'm plugging this vape in before I go and completely.
No, I was just curious because my friend was telling me that she took iodine, and then I was reading like reviews on Amazon about it, and people talking about how fluoride is basically like, they believe that it's almost completely exclusively the reason why people get acne so bad and have all these other issues. And they were talking about how iodine is kind of an intense supplement to use to drain fluoride out and rectify that stuff, because you actually get really sick for a week or two while everything flushes through your lymphatic system. And I was just curious if you knew anything about
So
that.
when you talked about it a little bit more, I do believe I have heard of iodine for that. I haven't heard it in such intense uses, but there's much more natural ways to do that. Like there's a fuck, what are they called? They're tamarind fruits, I believe they're called tamarind, something like that. Um, and those are actually extremely effective at decalcifying your pineal gland. They essentially cause you to urinate all the fluoride out and everything um, over the course of like a 30-day period, which is amazing. And apparently they taste good. I haven't tried them myself. I've just been trying to focus on making sure I'm not drinking anything with fluoride, which you can literally Google, y'all, anything you're gonna drink. Take whatever your favorite water brand is and search like smart water fluoride content or ppm, and if it's anything above 0.0, don't drink it. Like you like Fiji water, if you like Fiji water, don't drink that shit. It's
Ozarka.
Ozarka.
Yeah, it's Texas.
Let's see here.
No, but see, we know people that do like ayahuasca, kind of reset and refocus and completely. I mean, they swear by it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay, it says less than 0.1, so it's probably on a zero non-contain. Yeah, it says it does not contain. Okay, that's solid. That's solid. You're good there.
Yeah, no, I have a good friend, Joe. He's what? No, not Rogan. Although if I do say all this, you probably would think it was. But
Say DMT 3 times in front of the mirror and spin around, and Joe Rogan will appear behind you.
He does swear by DMT, doesn't he?
Oh,
I've heard
yeah.
him. I don't listen to him. Like, I don't listen to much of anything, but I have heard him speak on it. I've heard it mentioned.
What were you
yeah,
saying, Skullz?
Oh, yeah, he basically was telling me about how he explored doing acid and psilocybin. He would smoke weed all the time, and he's at a point where he's like, I don't do any of it anymore because it served its purpose in my life. You know, like maybe at a future date I'll trip every once in a while just to kind of get back in touch. But dude, one of the most emotionally intelligent people I've met, and it's just like that's what I've come to terms with when talking to people about that. It needs to be used with purpose. When you're
Yeah.
just using it without any purpose just to escape, it seems like it's less about escaping your problems and it's more about confronting your problems.
Yes. So, me- psychedelics in general. So, psychedelic means revealing of mind or revealing of the soul. Um, and so, a lot of these people take this have this misconception because of what they see on TV or what they hear about people trying to do. It's an inexplicable thing. What you see when you have a psychedelic trip is unexplainable. It is truly not justifiable by words. It's something you just have to witness, and that's truly the thing about it. And so people try to put this experience into words, and through descriptive words people get this misconception that they're going to have this crazy cartoon world, or where that's not, like, you might have that. Yes, it could happen. More than likely, it's not going to be your whole trip, but it could happen. I've had it happen where I've had nothing but sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies, and I had no mind soul revealing at all. But it put me in that childlike state of euphoria and bliss, where, like, as if you reminisce on a fond summer memory as a kid. That's what I felt like I was living life as in that moment. However, what I always tell people is don't go in with the mindset that you're going to have that experience. Go in with the mindset that you're going to have something taught to you. Because all psychedelics do is they fast track what meditation does. You can achieve the same uh, psychedelic states through intense meditation. And it's crazy because I have achieved a literal closed eye hallucination trip through meditation, which I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, how
And
does that happen? Is that through DMT? Like I know the body produces it naturally.
so when you focus on meditation and you really do you need to, again, decalcify your pineal gland. That's the first step to any of this, is making sure you're not taking in any fluoride or anything that could calcify your pineal gland. um, but it's crazy, man, when you close your eyes and you start staring at where your pineal gland would be, and you really start focusing and breathing and focusing on the present, you'll start to really see this purple, like, orb start to take shape. And it's crazy. Everyone describes it the same. And when I first started to see it, I thought I was like, am I psyching myself up about this? Am I high or something? But, like, no, it was really. And the more you focus on it, and it's crazy because they call that your third eye, like, third eye chakra or whatever. And it's symbolized as like a purple orb. And when I started seeing this and really focusing on this, people like talk about when you're breathing and going into deep states of meditation, um, is also when your brain starts to develop more neuroplasties again, repairing itself. Um, they literally have proven on like a scientific level that psychedelics and a deep meditation induce the same state of brain, like repair state. But they say when you're focusing on this purple dot, if you just kind of imagine this white light popping through, like, you can start to induce like a psychedelic state. Um, and I was just focusing on this purple dot, man. I'm like, come on, like, I want to see like the fucking sun. Like, I'm trying to envision like just this light turning on, and it's just not happening. Like, I'm just seeing this purple. Kind of looks like the background right above Cat's head. Like, just yeah, honestly, right, yeah, right there, like that, like a little splotchy purple dot, and I'm just seeing this thing. And I'm like, maybe not like a light, maybe like the sun just fucking boom right outside of a cloud as it pokes through. And then I start to see this fucking it was like someone turned on a fucking flashlight right in front of my eyes. I was like, and then this, bro, I shot through like this fucking light tunnel, and then I fucking snapped myself out of my meditation. I was like, what the fuck? Like, was I falling asleep? Like, and I don't know how to describe it, because I realized I was not falling asleep. I was just in such a deep state of focus, and I don't even know how to describe it. It really is. Just try it. Just try it. It won't happen overnight, but give it a month of solid practice, and you will freak the fuck out of yourself.
I avoid that at all costs.
But why?
And I'll explain. I've actually had and I finally had an opportunity to quit cold turkey, but in the meantime, there were those times where you're just up to white noise and make sense of it. You'd hear you could have images. All of that is just not for me. Like and that's where you forget how to go to sleep. You lay down and you're like, I'm about to let myself go on. I'm choosing to let myself go unconscious. Mind you, you knew that you had to do it or you would over, but so terrified you couldn't sleep. And that's my personal experiences with those types of feelings. So losing that, literally listening to white noise and hearing a conversation and then getting some sleep and going back and listening to this exact thing again and realizing that it was just white noise, but knowing you remember the conversation you heard, that's not for me. That's not for me ever again.
What did you take? Was it mushrooms?
No, I was up on.
Oh,
I'd be
okay.
up for days.
Well, first
So
of all, that's a very different state. This is
no,
not
and I
at
know,
all.
but I'm saying that the correlation between the types of mind states, like I don't even do deep meditation for that
Yeah,
reason.
I get that.
I purposely I take melatonin. I lay down, I'm out. I don't want that in between. In between is
So what Larry had said there, trip guides are awesome. So that's kind of one of the biggest thing about these psychotherapies where they'll actually administer this under clinical settings, and they actually have used it um, with people who are recovering addicts from things, people who have PTSD, people who are dying of cancer, and what it actually does is it helps their brain form new connections to understand things in a different way. One of the studies that they did with mice, they actually they taught mice to have a fear response to a certain frequency. So every time they would play this frequency, these mice would cower in fear. Um, and then they administered them psilocybin. And after a single dose, they played this frequency again. The mice didn't cower in fear anymore. Their brain rewired itself to understand not to be afraid of things. And so that's why I'm saying like set and set is everything having somebody there to
So
be there for you.
so it's almost like it sounds like it's almost like Pavlov's dog, like ringing the bell. It's like like you have an association with something, and it's like it sounds like it basically brings you back to the drawing board where and then you have the opportunity to kind of retrain your brain to not have that association anymore.
Exactly. That's exactly what it does.
It's
Roy,
really, really interesting.
Royson
It's
has a
incredibly
question for
powerful.
you, Nampson.
If you know, why smoking, wondering why, if you know, hold on, wondering if you know why smoking weed may increase paranoia. So that's the type of weed you're smoking. It all depends on the quality, where you get your grow from, and if you know how things affect you. So it's like, for me, I know caffeine tweaks me the fuck out, and I get like all like, hey guys, you want to do something? Like I look like I'm on meth if I take caffeine, and it's just because like that's how I am. Like I get jittery. I got to be doing something at all times, and then I have a massive crash, and I like sleep for like 2 days. So I don't do caffeine. A lot of weed you will find in the market is mostly hybrid nowadays, but some sativas cause an energizing effect. It's really interesting because weed it's a stimulant, it's a depressant, it's a psychedelic, and it can also be a dissociative in some strains. So it's really every category of weed, which is of drug, which is really crazy. Um, but sativa specifically is a stimulant, and that if you're prone to that kind of jitteriness, like I am on caffeine, that can cause you that paranoia. It's all about knowing what you're smoking, knowing the effects of it. Go on to leafly.com and search your strains. They'll tell you all about the effects.
Geminator, had a question earlier. Well, I already know the answer. I can guess what the answer is. Recommend tripping alone or with someone?
I bet you can't guess my answer. I'd like to hear what you think my answer is.
Well, I thought it was gonna be with somebody until you said that. Now I think it's
It's neither. It's both. I think you should, for your first experience, um, my first experience was alone, but then with somebody, but not in a good way. She was mad at me for doing it. But anyways, I think your first experience should be done with somebody. Um, maybe even your second or third until you feel really comfortable with what you're consuming and how it makes you feel. Um, but I don't think you should have that other person trip with you. They need to be a trip sitter. Um, and they need to be somebody who's done it before. They can't just be somebody who's never been in that realm before because they won't know how to deal with you or how to help you. Um,
I mean, don't get
but
me
I
wrong.
do
I'm
think
also on the flip side, not necessarily recommending that everybody go out there and give it a try.
no,
You know,
no, definitely not. It's not for everybody. But if you wanted to do them, this is my order of recommending how to do it. And after that, after you're comfortable with it, I think you should start slowly dosing your way up until you can give yourself a heroic dose, which is like 5 grams of shrooms or more, or like 400 micrograms of LSD or more. And essentially just be alone in the dark with no sound and let the thing tell you what it's going to tell you. And yeah, that's when you stop taking it.
um,
That sounds horrifying.
It's
yeah, I
not,
was
I
gonna. I feel the same, but you know what? Here's the thing. Over the course of the years, I was around a lot of people that were doing their favorite thing in the entire get as messed up as humanly possible, and then go like, not. I'm not gonna say riding around, but like being around people. Um, they wanted to be like falling over, just they wanted things to jump out at them. I'm like, to me, that's like my worst nightmare. I don't want that. Like, I don't want to be around people. If I'm in any altered state of any sort, whether it's tired, I've had a couple drinks, it doesn't matter why. I don't want to be around anybody. Like, leave me alone.
yeah.
I don't want anything jumping out at me because I not be responsible for my actions. Like, there might be some things being thrown. I don't know. I might be like beating up my couch for no reason. But
So, sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying. Some people actually they purposely they want it to be, and not for a self actualization, not for a self realization, not for a mental state. They want to just, hey, dude, it's cool. I want to talk to a door. I want it to come sit next to me and talk to me. That's all they care about. Like, that's it. And to me, you know, people are going to do what they do, and I don't judge people as long as you're not bothering me or mine, as long as you're not putting my children in harm's way, as long as you're not on the road driving while
Thanks.
anyone else is out there. Anyone, not just me, anyone, because that's wrong. But I just feel
Yeah.
like if it's actually if you have an intelligent way that you're going about it, there's a purpose behind it, I can be on board with that more so than if someone's just like, hey, dude, let's see if we can see purple sparkles. Like, and that's
Yeah.
the only goal.
And that just speaks to not having a respect for what the compound is. And like that's really the thing that I've been stricken by. My first my first two experiences with these main two different compounds, psilocybin and LSD, were both accidental heroic doses. Um yeah. So my first one, I was um growing them in my closet for someone, and I basically dehydrated most of them the right way, and then the other ones I had fucked up because I had to leave, so I only half dehydrated them, and I came back and then redehydrated the rest of them. But they had like bruised because mushrooms bruise really easy, and so they got like this blackish blue color, which is not what shrooms are supposed to look like. And so my buddy was like, "Yeah, nobody's gonna want those," and I was like, "Cool. Well, I guess I'll, instead of throwing them out, I might as well just eat them." And I didn't have a scale. I didn't, and it was like 8 grams worth of shrooms, which an intense dose or like a good dose for someone that's just starting out is like 1.5 grams, maybe 2 grams at the most. So I did like 4 times the recommended amount. And
Oof.
yeah, and I had a terrible start to it, but a wonderful end to it. And it's crazy because that trip I only just realized a few months ago one of the things and the significance about it. And I realized like there was, I don't want to get too much in the heebie-jeebies of shit, but like if you know about the psychedelic space and everything, it's there's definitely other things there that are definitely real. And they watch you and they can talk with you sometimes. And I didn't realize it when I had that trip. Um, but there was definitely like an entity or two watching me in this space when I had went there. And I thought I was just in this wonderful little geometric world of color. Uh, and they were just like watching me, like thinking like, let him have his fun. Like he'll be back. And it's crazy because I only just realized that a few months ago. And then I had that trip like 4 years ago, you know? It's weird shit. It's
I
really weird shit.
I get what you're saying, and the thing is I want to volunteer. Like, I'm that person who doesn't look in mirrors out my windows. I'm terrified. Happened in the past. The one time I did do mushroom, everybody left to go joyriding, left me alone. And I'm laying on the couch and I just bad and I look over. He's just sitting there and he had his elbows on his knees. He's like leaned forward, just kind of sitting there. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, what is going on here? And so he just looks at me, doesn't say anything. And I called my ex-husband. I was like, get the hell back here. Because he's just looking. And I'm like, there's an actual person sitting there. Like, you could not convince me otherwise. There's no way you could. And he was there for a good like 10 minutes until they went to go open the door. And I looked away and I looked back and he was gone. Like, not cool. To me, that is not fun. That's not for me.
So,
Like, if he didn't talk to me and we had like a decent conversation, maybe that'd be different. But just like,
how many mushrooms did you take? Like, do you know the amount that you had?
more than I should have. Because they
Yeah.
were like, you can't knock it till you try it. Bullshit. I will never let them do that to me again.
So, have you ever heard of DMT?
Heard of it.
Okay, so DMT is like the father of all psychedelics. It's and what's really crazy about it is the molecule for DMT is in everything. And I don't just mean like everything that's alive. I mean everything, like metal, wood, plants, animals, you, me, like it's in everything. And if it's not in it, the amino acid that directly converts into DMT is in it. So it's essentially it's in everything. And what's really crazy about this, like scientists have been baffled by this chemical for years because it's a sorry, I just got a text. It's in everything and they don't know how to explain why it's in everything. And what's really crazy is when you use this substance, you really do feel connected to everything. And so you'll see these entities, you'll see these figures, these things, and like for the longest time there's been like these debates. Was it inside your head? Is it an actual space you go to, your consciousness? um and then there's been recently some really crazy stories of people that essentially meet the same entities, that will talk with the same, they describe them the same way, go to the same place, and without ever meeting each other, saying these things to each other, can then like describe the same thing. And it's
Right.
it's wild because like I personally have had a DMT experience recently, and I saw an entity there, and it was some crazy shit. But yeah.
I mean, it's the same as when people can describe, excuse me, can describe like paranormal encounters, to a T. There's a difference between,
Well,
you see something and like here, like you see something in my personal, it's like just as much as I'm seeing you on the camera right there, that's exactly as clear. So it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't want to do like we didn't have a conversation. We didn't like talk about Family Feud.
Right.
Barbie is like, it wasn't like a, this is kind of cool. Okay. It was literally like, like, what the hell? And I was terrified. So, you know, there's just different aspects to it, which is why I personally think that people know what they're doing before they do it. You see, I'm
Oh,
going in I
absolutely.
see my mic cutting out, so I'm going
100%.
into my mic. Like, eating my mic, y'all. You're welcome.
Well, one thing I find really interesting is that I didn't know DMT was in everything, and it's really interesting that it's in everything. And when you're in a psychedelic state, you feel connected to everything.
Yes,
It's a
and
really strange correlation.
so that's what I was getting at is they're kind of now connecting that this isn't all in your head. Your consciousness is actually going into the 4D space. So what's really interesting is we are 4D beings consciously inside of a 3D organism, uh, which is really what I mean by this is uh, take ants for example. Ants are 3D organisms or 3D consciousness in a 2D organism. An ant is 3D to us, but an ant can only see in 2D. If you put an ant on a piece of on a fucking table and you take a piece of paper and put it in front of the ant, to the ant the table is now full because it can only see a 2D plane. We are 4D consciousness trapped in a 3D state of vision and being where we can see in 3D, but we have no way to see into the fourth dimension. We could not possibly perceive what this is like. And then now you have something that places your consciousness in a place where it can now interpret not the sensory data that it's seeing in the 3D image, because everything you think and can perceive is all through what your brain is just interpreting. Your brain isn't a camera. It doesn't directly see through the lens of your eyes. It's constantly interpreting light. What you see might not actually be what's in front of you at all. It's just the way your brain is interpreting the light. So that being said, if your consciousness can then be removed from the sensory data and placed in another area, you might now be able to see this 4D space. And that's why I link it to like certain people being able to see the same entities, describing them the same way, going to the same places, because this place you're going to isn't within your head. It's a place your consciousness is actually going to. It's a real place.
You don't
And
think
it's
it's like an
constant.
overlap of where we are currently?
Yeah,
It's
no, I do,
like
absolutely. I do. I
overlaid,
think
but it's just you can't, it's like
you
a out of
it's
phase,
kind of
maybe?
like adding in a
It's like
filter where you can see it now. Like
Gotcha.
if where you put on the goggles where you can see the little invisible enemies that are always there or whatever.
I got
You
you.
know?
metaphysical, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, at
And
least to our perception.
yeah, exactly. And so like that being said, what's really interesting too is we can interact with things on a 2D space. But a 2D space cannot interact with things on a 3D space. So that being said, we can interact with flat objects and we can turn them into 3D objects. Like you can take a house and draw it on a piece of paper. That's a 2D house. It's not 3D, but we are a 3D being creating something in the 2D realm. So who's to say a 4D being could not create or do something into the 3D realm, while the 3D being could not see into the 4D area? It's eh, I don't know. These are the things that I stay up at night, fucking tossing and turning. It's not
It's a
why the
wild
fucking
thought.
gas prices are so high. It's why the goddamn interdimensional shit is happening around us, and I have no explanation for it.
Well, see, here's the thing. I read plenty. And one of the particular genres that I love, aside from like the dark romance and stuff, people know I read that stuff. Just one of the other genres that I like are those interwoven worlds. I love that. I absolutely love it. I love like the people, for example, have you ever seen the show Shadowhunters? The way it actually starts is this one girl can see them when they're actually hidden from everyone else. It's one of those things, like where those certain people have the thing to like
Like in
See,
Harry Potter, how Harry and that one weird bitch can see the dead horses because they've watched somebody die.
yes, that.
Same shit.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I really, really like. Not because I want like to unlock that and start seeing stuff that nobody believes me about. That's not what I want. However, just the concept of how big the world could be and how many things that could be going on that we just don't even know. I love within the realm of like a story so that I can not blow my own mind thinking about it, right? I love to dive into that stuff. And then I go down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories and I have to stop myself and like pull back and like go back to my books, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of, not a lot, some conspiracy theories are based fully in on some of those interweaving concepts.
I know exactly what you mean because I do the same shit. I always end up going down these fucking rabbit holes and shit, and then that's when I start tweaking on myself. I'm like, am I crazy? Are the things I'm babbling off to people nonsense? But no, I like to really like thoroughly research things too. I like to look at both sides of the argument, um, to really get like a sound understanding of something before I just go spouting off some nonsense. You know what I mean?
No, I
That's
get
that's
that.
really.
I don't know
But
enough about it to give it an intelligent half of the conversation. I don't know enough about it specifically, which is why I'm not giving that much input into it.
right, I get
However,
that.
what you're saying, I get. Whether I agree, disagree, believe, disbelieve doesn't actually matter. I get what you're saying and I can understand what you're saying, if that makes sense. So,
So one really interesting thing when you said like being able to turn on kind of like the lens and being able to see something, I really do believe that's actually what psychedelics do permanently. So one of the really interesting things that I've noticed, um as kind of like side effects of it, and it could be insanely coincidental, but I've noticed like strange side effects, and this I'm gonna get y'all are about to think I'm crazy here, but just hear me out. I've noticed like some side effects of like small uh, telepathic instances. Like there was one time where I was with my mom in her kitchen and everything, and we were sitting down there. It was dark, all the lights were off, and we were sitting there for a solid like 10 minutes. And I was just thinking to myself, "Dang, it's dark in here." Immediately, as I thought that, my mom went over and turned on the light. There was another time where I was sitting with my fiance, and we were watching something. We were both on acid at this time, though, so that can also account for this. But I was really thinking, like, "Dang, I gotta go pee," and then I heard my fiance say, like, "Oh, I gotta go pee too." And then I audibly said, "Well, you can go pee first." And she goes, "How'd you know I had to pee?" And I was like, "You just said it." She goes, "No, I didn't. I didn't say anything out loud." So like that was a clear instance of that shit happening. And so when you say putting on the lens, I really do believe that this is kind of a, like I said, these psychedelics will literally turn off one section of your brain and force another section to uh, form connections. It's like contact fluid for this. And who's to say that those connections can't reactivate in certain moments. And I think what's really interesting about that, there's been a proven kind of version of this that shows that it still gives you access to what you can see. There's a disorder you can develop from doing too much LSD, which goes away with time. It's not like a permanent thing, but it's called HPPD, hallucinogenic persistency perceptance disorder, where randomly, and I've had this happen, I've seen it, and that's when I fucking found out about this shit. I googled it. Um, but you'll be sober as a whistle, chilling, doing your thing, and then all of a sudden, whoa, everything starts getting fucking wavy and like trippy, and then you blink a couple times and everything's okay. And you're like,
I have
what
that, but
the?
I've never done those types of
You done mushrooms once? It can still,
like
it can
15
I've
still.
years ago.
actually had that happen to me, and I don't know if it's a result of microdosing or if it was a result of smoking
Yeah.
weed, because the night before I smoked weed. And then I was driving and I was listening to a Tool song, and they could be a little bit psychedelic at times.
Yeah.
And while I was driving, it was like I became a part of like I was spiraling down the road. Like that's kind of the sense I got. And like everything got saturated. And then by the time I got to the end of the road, it went away. I was like, what the hell? Never experienced
Yeah.
that in my life.
So that definitely could be a result of the microdosing, because like I said, it can form these connections. So there's that, you know. And the other thing that I think is crazy with the psychic aspect of that, like they're talking in the chat, they're now more closely relating the brain and the way it works to kind of like a TV antenna. Like not only can it receive signals, but it can send signals out. So it's like if your brain is constantly, it has million or billions, I think, of neurons constantly firing, and they're sending these electrical impulses. It's like if you have wired connections that are new and established that potentially even amplify the signal, it's like, who's to say then, you know, you thinking a thought can't put it in someone else's head because your brain signals are amplified. They're wired differently. They're, you know, there's not enough research to really explain that, but it's like we know how our brain works. We know how the electrical impulses fire. So I think it's a safe theory to at least entertain. Because, like I said, literally, like being able to think something and then immediately have somebody go change something else or do something, you know, it's almost too coincidental, you know. And those are just two experiences off the top of my head. I've had others too, you know.
I mean, in all honesty, I think everybody kind of are a little bit more in tune, and they,
That's true too.
or some people, I don't know how to put this, so I'm just gonna say it, are more open to acknowledging could potentially be
Right.
those moments where it's like, whoa, I call them freebies. You know, you stand up too quick,
Yeah.
those kind of things, and then you kind of like, whoa, and then it's like everything snaps back in. I've had those without the stand up moment, without just standing up. Like
Yeah.
I've had those. The deja vu for me does that big time, where I panic in the middle of it. But people, some people choose, and it's their right to choose to do this or not do this. They choose not to acknowledge it as a potential for some other type of either mental state or state of being or thought process or brain function, whatever the case is. They choose not to. That's okay. They don't have to. Some people don't know what it is and are scared. Some people are curious. And then some people are full on like, bring it. Let's figure this out.
Right.
You know? And I just think that there's so many unexplained things that could be attributed to so many things. Everyone wants an answer, and sometimes there's just not a fucking answer. And I think by the time people get those answers, they're too far away from us to be able to tell us. Either
Yeah.
by death, moving on to how whatever that entails for you in your brain and your religion and your heart. I just think that at the moment that you finally go, oh well, shit, you can't tell anyone because
Right.
bye bye. You know.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's just it's interesting to me. I'm not interested in experimenting.
I'm interested just because it's like, dude, like, I gotta be honest with myself. Everyone I meet that has the most emotional intelligence is always someone who's fucked with psychedelics. Always. It always surprises me because I used to be like more skeptical about it, but the more I talk to people and hear their experiences and see how they're coping with bad situations and things, it just constantly is blowing me away by how much better they're operating than a lot of people.
There's a really really great docu-series on Netflix called How to Change Your Mind. Um and it's about really diving into the scientific factors and the research and the evidence behind psychedelics and what they genuinely do and the misconceptions that people have. And I really recommend anyone that's interested in psychedelics or potentially considering it to watch that docuseries. They've got it on acid, on shrooms, MDMA, every psychedelic you can take.
Is that out already? Because I've heard of it.
I
Hold
forgot about
on.
that.
Yeah, it is out. It is out. So you'll hold on. So you'll take psychedelic Adderall, but not mushrooms?
I have. It's been 12
Okay.
years. It's been over a decade.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's been over a decade, no, sincerely, and it was just, you know, it was what it was. Um,
I actually wrote down that fruit too you're recommending. I'm definitely gonna
what
look
is it,
into that fruit.
taurine or what is it?
Tamarind or
Tamarind.
something.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I know
man,
what
it's
that.
fucking
Do you know
great.
what that? See, I'll go look that stuff up just to get more information since we've had a conversation. I just would like to kind of hear, but it's not like a point of interest in general for me.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like, not everybody has to live the same way, you know? I
Exactly.
think it's just really nice when people take the time to educate themselves, and if they continue after that point to be like, "Eh, it's not for me," it's like, "Cool," you know, like, good for you, that's fine, as long as you did your research and you made that
And
decision, you
see,
know?
I'm gonna kind of go a little bit further. I don't think that. I think it's not necessary. Like, for example, and this can apply in any space, in any politics, religion, psychedelics, like a book genre, if a movie was good or not, I don't care. In any space, you don't have to research. In fact, you don't have to go check and see if you agree, right, with something.
That's
If you
true.
don't want to, but if you don't, you need to literally just respect the other person's opinion and respect the fact that you are less informed and approach
Facts.
this conversation in that way. So, like, if I had no intention to ever, and I'll tell you right now, when it comes to like to weed, I'm not gonna go look it up. I don't care. It's me though. I don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm also not gonna be like, well, you know, I know, but I don't know, and I'm aware of that, and I acknowledge that, and so I think if someone wants to come back with something and say, I think differently, or I think you're incorrect, or I'm not sure about it, then they definitely should go research. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But I think it's completely possible because this is one of those conversations that not everybody is interested. I guarantee you my mom's not here anymore. um, you know, that not everybody is interested or a part of. And that's cool, no matter how
Yeah,
what choices
absolutely.
people make. Just, you know, if you plan on getting more into it or finding out more, please go do the research. Don't just be like, well, shit, okay. I want to see the
Yeah.
fourth
well,
dimension. Let's go. And like go crazy. Like,
No, absolutely
and I
not,
know
and
that's
that's
not
the
what you're
respect
saying.
aspect to it. Yeah, it's about having maturity and understanding what the compound actually is. What's up,
and
Desiree?
and one thing I really like about these conversations because it's not just like the psychedelics. Not we're talking about health, and I
Yeah,
mean like mental health, your biological health, and how that all correlates, your emotional health, and it's something I think in this country, in our culture, that we just don't talk about a lot.
we don't take it
We
seriously.
tend to, yeah, we just mask symptoms rather than getting to the root or getting to the disease. And it's like these problems don't go away. We're just I mean, like people don't even I don't think they realize how much food has an effect on your emotions and how you feel throughout the day, even in a mental capacity, in a physical capacity. It's it's all correlated, and it's something none of us really talk about in a productive way.
And that's the thing is it all fits into the agenda. Like, I hate to get conspiracy theory tin hat about it, but it's like the people in power like to stay in power, and the idea is to keep you sick enough not to question things, but healthy enough to go to work. There's studies that time and time again prove that 40 hours is the maximum any human can do anything, like and like stay healthy. After that, they just need the rest of the time of rest. Meaning a 40-hour work week, the standard work week is the maximum any human can do before they're just like, I can't do anymore, and they're gonna keel over. Otherwise, they will decline in health, literally. And so, that being said, most of us work overtime. Most of us work 40-hour minimum wage jobs. And we still try to have social lives outside of it. We still try to play video games. We still try to do, our own passionate things. But it's like it wears on you. And it's like it literally shows that it's like your health is being sacrificed for these things. And they know this. They do it on purpose. The food that they feed you is meant to keep you slower, stupider, but healthy enough to where you can still go to work and keep the economy going. They pay
Yeah.
you enough where you can live, but not get ahead.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm turning my camera off my seconds, but you guys keep talking.
No, you're good. I it's one thing I noticed too is like the more dire situation, like the economy gets and all that, the more hours people are working. And when they are getting sick or struggling mentally and all that, what do? They give them pills. They give them these solutions
No
that are
overdose,
actually
man.
just masking the actual problem. And like I keep hearing stuff like this, like it's just all putting more on the people. You know, like even like you hear politicians talk about raising the retirement age and stuff. And it's like the more they can mask these things, it's like the more they put on the people.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to get political, but I'm more like, put more power in the people's hands. Like, let's stop giving away freedoms to these
Yeah.
people that take advantage of us and spend recklessly. Look at the debt.
100%.
Look at the debt. Trillions and trillions. You know what I mean? Like,
It's wild, man. It's an unfathomable number that's literally and oh man, the things that they're doing now are just getting crazier and crazier. Like again, not to bring up politics here, but I found out recently that Biden has been giving away like millions of barrels of the United States reserve oil every single day. And like finding that out, like they said that our reserve oil is going to be fully depleted by the end of November 2023. Like
I've been hearing that too. And it's
it's
like,
crazy.
dude, there's just a point where our government does so many things that hurt our country where it's like this isn't coincidence, like
No,
this.
exactly.
And I feel like it's becoming less conspiracy like to people, and it's just becoming more reality like. And that's why I'm always an advocate for like everyone should have the right to choose whatever they want to do, and culture should work it out, because
Yeah.
we're not children. The government doesn't need to be mommy and daddy. We can compromise with each other, but and perhaps through learning to feel more connected through psychedelics, we can achieve that compromise. But that remains to be seen.
I will say that so I was unintentionally a very judgmental person growing up and everything. Like I didn't even know or think that I was. It was just like as a product of who my mom was. My mom was always super judgmental on people and I didn't realize but so much of that rubbed off on me. And I definitely think psychedelics were one of the biggest parts in my rehabilitation of understanding that people are people and they just want to live their life, you know? And then I can't go around judging people because I don't know what they're going on with. I don't know what they're dealing with, and so it's like, why would I put that pressure on someone else from a total stranger for someone that they even know? It's like people just want to live their life as long as you're not going around killing babies or bestiality or whatever. It's like let people live their life, let them do their thing
I think people should be able to do their thing within reason, and the reason I say within reason is because
within safety.
like you do what you want to do in your own home.
Yeah.
However, don't do what you want
Unless
to do in
that's
your own
murdering
home if you
babies.
have kids or family members there that could potentially be affected by it in a negative way. That kind of stuff, like people have to use common sense and their intelligence, and unfortunately, society encourages a lesser level of intelligence. They encourage people to go for immediate gratification, quick stuff, right? 15 seconds, that's all they're going to give you. If you don't catch their attention by then you're done. People have no patience. They don't want commercials. There's just all these, different things that make people so reliant on not using, their God-given intelligence.
Not actually thinking.
And unfortunately, that's the problem to me. Like, how can you say everybody go do what you want to do, and as long as you're, not.
As long as you do what we say.
Well, I mean, as long as you're not harming somebody and you're not like negatively affecting someone, you're not like getting in your car after you've done something, or, believe what you want to believe. If you believe the sky is purple at all times, that is the color that it is, then okay.
All your dreams.
No, I'm just saying, like, do you? But on the flip
Yeah.
side, that we're so ingrained now, especially our kids, demand that you have to agree with them, and that's the problem.
Yeah. It's sheepish. They want everyone to think the same, act the same, be the same.
Or maybe even they just want people mad. Just want people mad.
Yeah, I think that's why they keep appealing to our tribal kind of behaviors, is because that kind of overrides us. If they can get you angry, then that shuts your mind off, your rational and reasonable mind, and then they can just prey on that.
Yeah.
I personally
And
turn into a demon when I'm pissed off at my kids.
that's me to my dogs, honestly. I love my dogs, but sometimes they're the most stubborn motherfuckers, I swear to God.
You
But
you all worry about me. Exactly, Desiree. That's exactly it. I mean, and the thing is that all of these conversations can overlap into other ones. So you could go with some of the same concepts and the same way of talking about it, and you could go into politics, religion, you could go into the color of the sky, you could go into psychedelics, you could go into whatever. It's just approaching it in an intelligent fashion and making the best choices for yourself and making sure that it's about you, and then also keep everybody's fucking business.
facts.
I mean, it's not hard.
Facts. It's not. It's so simple.
You
It's
know?
so much easier.
Yeah, and it's like if someone challenges your perspective, that doesn't mean you have to change yours. So there's no need to like be so defensive when a new perspective is presented. It's just take it in, absorb it, think about it, and if it's not for you, then don't subscribe. But it's like you don't need to be so defensive, because like trust yourself, trust your gut,
You
and
don't need to tell everyone else to unsubscribe too. Like,
yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
Well,
But
I agree with you completely. I think that's it. It's like choose to go click off somewhere else. You don't have to drop hate. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be disgusting. You don't have to argue. You don't have to convince me. I'm the biggest one. Like, Skullz is a lot more. He's down here for me.
oh,
He's
well,
more
I
open
didn't
than
mean
am.
actually. I didn't actually mean unsubscribe.
No,
I
no, no,
meant just
no.
like
What I'm saying is that like when it comes to opinions and things like that, he is way more fluid and flexible than I am. I have at this point certain things in my brain that I said these are my lines, and you do you. These I will not cross here. Like maybe something someday might change my mind, but I'm really not even open to trying to change it. But I
right.
have no problem hearing.
Yeah.
There's certain
And
lines
that's
I have
totally
in the
okay.
sand, and I have no interest in other people's opinions on them because I just don't care. But
yeah.
no, but see, I'm the first one to say that. I don't care.
And if you're open about that, hey, like if you literally say to someone, don't even bother talking to me on this. I don't want to hear about it. I don't care. You're not going to change my mind. Cool. Now I know not to talk about that because it's a waste of my time and yours. Like,
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
frustrating, and that's what people they just try to like, you know,
it's like talking with a brick wall.
yeah, pretty much. Well, I'm saying I am the brick wall.
Yeah.
There are certain lines that I will not move on, and I think are, I feel that they build my moral code as a person, and there's just things, whether it be in any, I like my trash bags to be multicolored. Okay, fight me.
Yeah, like
Other
like
ones
see
are
what I like to
cheaper.
do is
So, like,
what I try to do on here, but I mean I don't always succeed, but what I try to do is leave my line in the sand at the door.
Yeah.
And then when I leave, I cross back over. But this is a place for me to kind of explore and hear other people's perspectives and indulge them, and hopefully get some, at the very least, new information out that I could bring back across my line.
Yeah.
And my line's always subject to move, but I definitely feel you. I mean, there's things where I absolutely won't move. I do have my straight up boundaries, but I do like to cross
We
the
all
line, probably because I make music too. I enjoy that creative space, and there's creativity in chaos. There's none in order. So I kind of have to embrace that chaoticness to do anything creative.
I get
hell
that.
yeah.
No, I
It's
absolutely
amazing.
get that. And see, I'm open to hearing it, but there's no arguing. I love it how my mom always used to say that. It made me so mad, but I'm gonna say it now. No arguing. Some things are what they are. There's no reason to
Yeah.
argue. Sure, if you want to have
Exactly.
a discussion, sure. But there's no fighting over your opinion and your thoughts. Like,
Exactly.
we're not the fucking thought police. Like,
Some of these kids online are.
some people that, you know, obviously people get in the comments on their music, on, you know, reaction channels, their tweets or whatever it may be, and there's these people that just decide like, you're wrong, I said you're wrong, and it's like, the fuck pulled your chain?
Right. Yeah,
That's
literally.
straight up entitlement. That's so much entitlement. It's
And
like you're not entitled to make everybody else revolve around what you think. It's just, I think that's a big problem with a lot of people, and especially with the internet culture, because you don't actually have to look someone in the eyes.
Yeah, half of these
Like
people would not say shit in person.
absolutely.
well, here's a funny thing. Brandon Hart said it on his coffee with Brandon earlier today. I was watching, and he basically was like, "Could release." We're like, "When's your next? When's your next? When's your next?" And he's like, and he kind of mentioned it, and I think we talked about it. Skullz, correct me if I'm wrong, on the podcast where we were talking about how he used to have to wait to go to like Walmart or Target and get an album drop, like the Slim Shady album drop. You're like, "Oh my god, go get it, the physical copy and
Yep.
all of that," right?
Yep.
For
I
people
remember
to
him
be
talking
like,
about
"Okay,
that.
so when's your next song?" And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, he literally could have dropped a song yesterday. Brandon Hart could have dropped a song yesterday, and people are like, "Well, when's the next song?"
Yep.
And he
That's
was,
facts.
what he said was, he's like, it could be in 3 months, it could be in 3 years, it could be in, yeah, well, not 3 hours, but 3
It'll come when it
weeks.
comes.
He's like, it'll come when I'm damn well, basically when I fucking feel like it, is what he was saying.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Same with like for you, people are like, so let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
no.
man, people are ruthless with it because it's crazy. I've been I have a notorious horrible reputation for saying, "Yo guys, I'm working on an album." And then sometimes I even get a release date for it. And then suddenly the album just never comes out. Like that's happened to me one project, the Blue Sweatshirt EP, another project, Lost in Time, literally got fucking lost in time. Uh Another one was called My Stuff. Another one was called BFU, Born Fucked Up. And then the newest one, which I'm really hoping will actually get made. I'm 99% sure I'm finishing this, but like I have nothing obstructing the path ahead, and it has never been more clear to finish this album. And I'm I can almost put my certainty into it that it is getting done. And if it
Clip that,
doesn't
clip
get
that,
done,
clip that.
I'll at least put out what I have because I'm really happy with what I have so far. And like I said, this story is very important to me.
Yeah, I I used to do that all the time when I was like rapping more in high school. I had a remember I had a project I really wanted to release. It was called The Mockery, where me and my friends we were going to take a bunch of songs that we thought were toxic for the culture and just make remixes kind of poking fun at it. And I
Yeah.
remember with the album cover we decided to do, it was the Mona Lisa and we graffitied it up. But I was really looking forward to that. Never released it. I had another mixtape called The Turning Point. Never released that. Just I have like 100 songs like that
Yeah.
I didn't release. That now it's a good thing for some of them, but
I agree,
it's a
bro.
process, and especially when you're younger, you do a lot more experimentation. But what do you call it? At this point, I'm like, yeah, I want to release everything I do, and but see, that's part of like the being an artist. Like we operate in a chaotic space, and sometimes like
Right.
finding your order, it can be a struggle. And that's why like I think as much as I don't like the industry and labels and all that, sometimes they can be good in that regard because they can set deadlines for you.
Yeah.
They can set goals for you when you're an artist. I mean, it just seems like it's harder. I mean,
You
I
gotta
can
be
speak for
driven for
myself. It's harder.
yourself, you know? You gotta have your own drive. You can't let other people drive you. You gotta feel that naturally.
No, facts. I'm talking more like getting shit done for like in a
Yeah.
specific time frame.
Telling you exactly what you need to have done, telling you how it's gonna get. I get that. But to me, that's another one of those things where if I'm given a box, I'm gonna stay in a box. If I'm allowed to work, and that's why I haven't put out this album. All these projects just keep getting scrapped so I can work on the correct thing. And it's crazy because some of the shit in this album is shit that I've written like 4 years ago that I've just reworked into this new thing. And it's like that message is still there. Those songs never got fully lost. They're just being repurposed, you know, and I think that's okay. Not even necessarily repurposed, but sectioned.
I mean,
Or like you found the spot for them in the puzzle,
Right.
kind of.
Yeah.
honesty, I mean, let's just be real. If it's something you've never released, the fuck's gonna
Who
know?
knows? Yeah.
Unless you're like,
I
it's 2017.
it's 2017, mofo.
Like if you
Cut that,
literally
cut
say
that.
that and you're like, it's 2017, and I can't even think anything special about 2017.
I
Like whoever was
like
popular and like yo yo so and so or something, you know, like the most popular song on the radio, and you could date it like a newspaper that you're holding up. Otherwise, who the
yeah,
fuck? Nobody knows. Nobody would know.
literally. I had a bar in one of the blue sweatshirt EP that I was talking about. Where one of the lines in it literally was, but it's 2020. People complain when they can't see the vision, but it's 2020, bitch, and I got a new prescription. I'm like, it's not 2020 anymore. Can't use that line. And also, 2020 was awful. So hey, let's drop that off at the door. Uh, this album I'm really excited for though that I've been working with because so I'm sure you guys know We Scheme, right?
Yes.
So I sent him one of my songs that I was working on a while back, like at the start of this year. Um, and I was so happy with it. It's one of my most like punchline heavy kind of bars. I got such a nice flow. The beat is so dope. And Scheme just trashed on me. He's like, "Oh, this is, garbage. You can do so much better, blah blah blah." And I'm just like, "Damn!" Like he's dunking on. And he's like, "Honestly, if I were you, I'd just throw the song out." And like his buddy that was in the call with him was like, "Well, it was kind of good. Like I was kind of enjoying. It. Like his flow was pretty dope. Some of his bars were corny, but like it." And he's like, "Nah, Nampson, don't listen. Just throw this out." And I for like a while, and then he like said after like that part too, he was like, it's not because I don't think it's just because I know you can do better, I don't think you're someone who just is rapping like this to ribbity rat. And I'm for like a good day or two I was like, man, fuck him, what does he know, like fucking Scheme, like everybody else thinks this song is fire. And then I thought about it, I was like, because he was like, I don't think you're someone that can only just rap. And like all I had done to that point was like just rap. And I was like, anytime I've sang, I sound like a dying chimp. Um, and so I avoid singing, and I just thought I couldn't. And so this album, I've been like really, really, really working on like trying to learn how to sing. And I'm not like watching videos. I'm literally just like belting shit out. Oh no, that doesn't sound good. Let's try this another way until I like really, and I'll just fucking sing in the car, sing in the shower. And can I play a song from my upcoming album? Would that be okay?
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Screen share. So this is a rough version of this song, but it's
I
one
don't
of
know
my
how to play it on
examples.
the YouTube though, because I'd have to try to.
You should just be able to play my screen share. Like click open the window and hold on 1 second. Let me make sure I got the right one. I think it's this one. Let's say. And then share your screen. Oh, that's not what I wanted to click.
So if the
And
YouTube screens go, oh shit, all right.
yeah. And then you just click into that. Yeah. All right. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Oh, did that just stop that? Yeah, it did. I'm fucking retarded. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys. Something. Oh, wait. Is it playing? What the fuck? I'm
I
so
can hear
confused.
it.
Oh, I can't hear shit
I can
again.
hear
Why
it.
does this keep happening to me? Oh, hold on.
We can hear it good. chat here. They should have caught up by now and should be able to hear.
You can't hear us, right, Nampson? Yeah.
Ah, why?
Can
Always with the
I?
technical difficulty.
Always.
I need to go back to my old headphones. Okay, there we go. Hello?
Can you hear us?
Oh, awesome. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they
Fucking
can
A.
hear you in the chat, and we can hear you.
Well, I know you guys could hear me, but I couldn't hear any of you guys. So, all right. Go 2. Go number 2. Can you guys hear this okay?
I don't hear
Oh my
anything.
god, it stopped playing. What the fuck? Why is it?
Bear with us, guys.
Can you guys hear it right now? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Nah, it's fucking silly.
Yeah, I don't hear anything either.
Hold on.
I was feeling the beat too, right off the bat.
I know that was pretty.
Okay. Wait, am I even? It doesn't even say I'm. Hold on. Let me stop sharing this. Now let me share my screen. Okay. And I guarantee this is gonna stop again. So let me hold on. Skullz, are you on your computer?
No, I'm not.
Balls. Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna give this a go. Was it playing even when I couldn't hear shit?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just let it play then if I can't suddenly hear shit. Fuck it. All right, here we go. Yeah.
I can hear it.
Something about you. Something about you. Is it the things that you do? Is it the way that you love? Maybe it's all the above. It's something about you. You found me at a bad time. My bad, I ain't had much of sound mind. Since when, I don't know, I was about 9 or 10 when I first found out I didn't know who I am. I always tried to blend in. I didn't know what I want, which direction to head. I didn't know how to love, my definition was shit. Getting high off the lows, I didn't know how to sit. And I know how it goes when the trust gets thick. Then I started to grow, I finally fit in. Then I got ego and you suffered for it. No self-control, I sabotaged my shit. Fuck. Don't know why I do it to myself, it's hell. I felt connection as well until just my luck. I fucked up, I know that you can tell with me when something's up. Something about you. Something about you. Is it the things that you do? Is it the way that you love? Maybe it's all the above. It's something about you. Don't know how to tell you that I did it, how you found out, yeah, but I still can't admit it. Turn the sound up loud on the TV, trying to drown you out. I'd like to try to fix the problem, but I don't know how. Tell you what I think you wanna hear. I hope you get something from it, dear. It's becoming clear. This house I built will crumble down if it's made with guilt, yeah. Lies are a bad substitute for cement. Sticks and glue, don't build no fence. Well, I don't got no friends, so I tell the world, stay out my head. I wanna make it up to you and I'll try my best. No more making up the truth, I'll lay the lies to rest. We could vibe instead, maybe we could live a life together. Cause I feel something about you. Something about you. Is it the things that you do? Is it the way that you love? Maybe it's all the above. It's something about you. Something about you. Something about you. It's just something about you. Something about you. Something about you.
Yeah, that's a summertime jam right
Yeah.
there.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
That's
can vibe outside with that shit.
that's
I
all the
appreciate
vibes.
it.
Like the first thing I thought of was like, see, this is like a truth beat.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can see that.
No, and that actually that was and but Jiminator, stop with the reverb. I swear to God, if I hear one, you just is there something else? Put some reverb. Reverb is not like the Gorilla Glue duct tape WD-40 of the world. Not everything needs reverb all the time.
Facts.
Just saying.
No, but maybe just like a little, just little bit more reverb. Just
Like on
Just a
one
little bit.
section, across the board, like on this
Like
one word, like
just like a little bit more reverb.
Just a little bit.
Then like a little bit more reverb.
where it sounds like you're down a
Can I-
hallway around a corner. No,
Yeah. I want to hear you echo at least 13 times.
I don't think the answer to the be all end all is reverb. I completely disagree with that. I do understand how it could help, but I think that's a go-to for people to say that. Like
Okay,
suddenly
well,
that fixes things. And
If
there's
that's
nothing to
not the
fix.
answer, then how do you feel about instead adding a little bit more reverb?
Yeah, can I say this though? I really appreciate like the positivity of that like track. It's just like a positive vibe.
Thank you.
And I feel like just like culture is like there's a lot of just like negativity pumped into it.
So
So
there's
I appreciate that.
there's definitely a lot of
I'm gonna let you see it, is it?
more reverb. Is that what that says?
More
I see reverb. It definitely says reverb. Yes,
I promise you it
Probably
does
says
not
reverb.
say reverb.
I'm pretty sure it says reverb.
I know it
It's
does
kind of
not.
hard to see from here. I don't know. Skullz, back me up on this. That said reverb, right?
Yeah, I'm dyslexic,
see.
but yeah.
Reverb.
No.
There you go. No, but the album, so it's it's gonna throw you for some really interesting twists and turns. So like it it starts off like, I don't even want to call it sad. Um but yeah, it'll hit you with some. See, that song actually has some like sad undertones to it. Like there's some lyrics in there that are
Yeah, no,
pretty.
I definitely heard that in there. But see, that's the thing. Like, if you're really gonna make something emotionally positive, you kind of have to recognize the sadness undertone because that's the only way the positivity feels earned.
That's facts.
So yeah, no, I really appreciate the approach to that.
Thank you. I'm glad that you noticed that and pick up on that. That means a lot. There's a lot of time and effort going into this album, so
I like that song and I don't like that kind of vibe usually. I'm really usually pretty against it. But in all honesty, I actually liked it.
thank you.
And I think that you did just fine on all the sing-songy parts.
I appreciate that.
I didn't see any problem with it whatsoever. It didn't in any way go, well, maybe, you should work on it. It literally just, it fit with the whole vibe of the song. It fit with the, the verses in between. It just made sense.
Thank you.
Yeah, it felt like a full experience, a full song. Just everything was in service of the song.
I appreciate that for real. It's honestly it's a rough mix. There's still a lot that I want to do to it. I want to fix up some of the auto tune and add a couple more layers throughout there. But thank you. I'm glad that y'all are liking it.
It was great. And like I said, I don't like that vibe usually. Usually I am like, no, oh God, there's another like vibe. I like
See,
them.
that's where narrative transcends genre. Like if you can get the narrative right, you can grab anybody.
Facts. And that's what I realized. Like music, it's fun to do the kind of tracks where you can just be like spitting or just saying some nonsense, making your best rhymes, making your best punchlines. Like, but there's something that's truly like when you can play a song for someone and they can feel a way throughout the thing. They can understand a linear progression. The original name for the album that I was gonna call it was gonna be called Linear Love, but I wanted to make it a more kind of like not generic title, but something that you could kind of apply to more uh going on in your life, which is why I ended up changing the name of the album to Phases.
I Good music is good music. Something hits different and something sounds right to me. I don't care the genre. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't. It
But
doesn't matter. And so I'm a song person. You know, as much as albums can be cohesive and they can flow really well, songs resonate with me more. And like for example, that song is something that I actually it kind of swoops you up into it a little bit. You know, it almost
yeah,
like you feel what the person's feeling, kind of thing. I appreciated it. I liked it. I don't think you should change much. I do understand what you're saying. A few things you want to adjust and everything, but
it
overall,
weeks more
I
so
think
than
it
like.
hits the way it's supposed to.
Thank you, thank you. Hey, what's up, Rob?
Oh, I didn't see him. I saw him, but I didn't catch it yet. You know, because we've been going
Oh,
almost
you
two
will have
hours
that
now
song soon, Bill.
at this point.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all for chilling.
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
talked about everything.
Yeah.
We talked about the universe, the connections between each other, DMT, fucking
A
weed,
whole lot of things.
showed a new song, whole
Showed
lot,
a new
man.
song, yes, yes, indeed. I'm so excited for so many of these songs too. It's gonna. I'm Desiree. I will. I just need to get the rest of them ready. I can't. I can't put one out without the rest of them. They're very coherent. Ergo, original album title, Linear Love. More, and maybe after the little bit more cow, or maybe even to the cowbell, we could add maybe just a little
Reverb.
bit more reverb.
I'm gonna find a soundbite
And you
of a
need to,
cowbell with reverb, and then I'm gonna, I don't know, somehow find a way to change your ringtone to that.
All right. I mean, just send it to me. I'll make it my ringtone.
We have
You don't
not
have to find a
discussed
way.
bedazzled vibrators. You are correct. However, that you
Oh,
mentioned it, we
we
just
got
did.
time.
bedazzled.
Bedazzled vibrators, which is like, by the way, that's a really stupid thing. Why would you bedazzle something that all the
Um,
crevices? Come on now, that makes no
have you ever
sense.
heard of the term ribbed for her pleasure?
Well, bedazzled is a whole different thing.
That's an extra special ribbed for those who have
That's like sandpapered for her.
hey, it all depends on the type of bedazzling you use, I guess, Using that cheap shit or using that good stuff.
Rhinestone cowboy. um,
Have you guys seen Scary Movie 2?
Oh, I love Scary Movie too.
You know the guy with the fucked up hand?
The little hand or his
Yeah,
little
yeah. I saw someone, I don't know if it was Photoshop, it probably was, but someone made a vibrator out of that where like the
Oh,
clip part is the little hand.
oh
oh,
no.
Yeah, it was the most hideous looking thing I've ever seen.
oh, I hate
Oh
it. I love
no.
it. I hate it.
No.
Oh, that's so funny.
I
My
officially
germs.
veto that off of anyone's wish list. Oh my
I
god,
mean that
now
that
I have to
literally
think
is
about it.
that literally is like a wish dildo.
Oh my god. But come on.
Hey man, I had to see it, so you guys can at least hear about it.
I can picture it in my head and now I'm like
My germs.
why did you do that, man? That's just wrong. Oh,
But it's so funny.
Nothing but
no,
free time.
it's actually hilarious, but I'm mad at you.
I'll send you it later.
Yeah,
The picture, not the thing.
It's like, did you buy it as like a one-off? Like, this is just too fucking unique not to have. Like,
Yeah,
I need
I
4 of
collect
them.
them.
Casey walks in on the bedazzled, small, strong hand. But thing.
Desiree's just naming sexual toys now.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
God, see, that just like burned into my brain.
I mean, there's worse things you could have burned in your brain, though, for sure.
Bruh, if I ever go on a trip and I see that hand coming at me,
Oh, baby.
never again.
Yeah, that's. Mm.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
That's
can
my
only
that's my
imagine.
nightmare.
here's the funny thing. I actually used to know somebody who had like on one side had cerebral. They had a hand like that.
They had a strong hand.
And you know what? I'm not trying to like be against disabled people, but he was a dick bag. He was an asshole. So
No, it's good
damn.
to
I'm
call
just
people
saying.
out when they're pieces of shit. Like, all right, protected groups out there, let me tell you something. My name is Nick Sampson, aka Dr. Nampson, and I need to tell you that just because you're protected doesn't mean you can go be a piece of shit to people, all right? That's just how it is. I don't care what you are. I don't care if you're all of the minority protected groups put into one. You can't just be an asshole to people. Like,
See,
people
Annette
are
knows who
people.
I'm talking about. She knew him. We knew
Oh
him.
dear.
It's a real person.
And that's the thing, like people that's the other thing that really pisses me off. Some people will use those protected groups under guises to be an asshole to people. Like
Hmm.
they get off on it. I don't know. Some people just like to do that.
See, and people think that I make shit up, like that. Oh, okay, whatever. But she's confirming it. She knows who I'm talking about. It's a real person, and they had the thing going on, and they
That's
were an
wild.
asshole. It just is the way it is. And you know, as far as I'm concerned, what the fuck, Desiree? Like, my God, she's literally listing everything that she on an adult website.
Thrusting weenie. What?
Oh, yum.
I don't see a pocket
Love me
rocket. I
some
don't see what's the one with the
rusting weenies.
what's the one that's like the guide thing that you could a hand. It looks like one of those things. I'm not even gonna start.
Yeah. I just want to know what an inflatable butt plug is. Like, is it like
Oh,
up?
You
You
pump it up.
float
Once
away?
it's inside, you pump it
yeah,
up
until it's
inside.
uncomfortable.
It's like a catheter,
Oh,
but
But
for
for
your
your
ass.
booty hole.
like it has the balloon. So you put it in, and then you inflate in what's inside. So then it's a lot of pressure way up inside. They try to hit the
It
prostate.
makes it wide enough so you can fit the hamster in.
No, that's the gauge.
What's happening?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Okay, Mr. Slave.
Well, I
Jesus
read a lot.
Christ.
What's funny is I don't read about toys as much as I read about the real thing. Oh, she's trying to get the dude's hand out of her head. Okay. Jackrabbit.
the
Oh, she put
strong
the jackrabbit. Okay.
hand?
Now we're just talking sex toys. Okay.
That's what everybody's going to be fucking in another 10, 20 years. People aren't going to be fucking in 10, 20 years.
Are you talking about like a Demolition Man? Where they put the VR headset on?
Yo,
That
it
sounds
really
dirty.
is crazy because it's gonna get to the point of like some fucking, you'll put on some fucking dick ring or some shit, and the fucking AR, it's not gonna be VR, it's gonna be goddamn augmented reality.
Right.
You're
I
just
got
gonna
you.
have a pair of fucking glasses, and you're gonna be fucking whoever you want, and then it's gonna be like a sensual stimulation on your cock ring, and it's a terrible future we're headed towards, y'all. It might sound nice, but it's not gonna be good. All right, the blowjob machine is the start. I'm telling you, it starts there, and it ends with AR. Fucking Futurama did it a thing about it. Fucking not
Yep.
good, not good.
It'd be like I said, it was like a Demolition Man where they put the headsets on and they were like, and he's like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, are we not gonna like go?
It,
Good God.
Listen, guys, it'll drain your balls, but it will also drain your heart.
The three seashells, yes. Demolition Man is that Man. That movie's the shit.
There's a subreddit. I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but it's basically like sad porn comments, and like, oh man, some of these things you'll read are just
That
like,
sounds hilarious.
I'm tired of being horny. I just want to be happy, guys.
Oh,
That's so sad.
it makes me feel bad. Like,
They're the best thing. I gotta find this subreddit for you guys. It's the funniest thing. If you ever feel bad about yourself or how your day's going, you just go through that subreddit and you're like, it could always be worse. Like,
well, it can always have more
That's
reverb too.
hilarious.
So,
it could always add more reverb. Yeah.
oh, double-sided
Me and
dildo
my
with reverb.
Oh God, that sounds really wet.
Sounds really in need of good timing.
I mean, me and my friends, we used to just make turn movie titles into sex movie titles.
Hmm.
That was the funnest shit ever. Like Toy Story, Sex Toy Story,
Oh, baby.
or what was it? I Love You Men.
My friends and I would do that with like song lyrics. We would change up words to say really fucked up shit.
That's great. That's hilarious.
I don't know Reddit either. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And actually, to be honest, I'm like adamant against getting on new platforms. I was kicking and screaming onto Instagram. Kicking and screaming, y'all. And now, of course, I post all the time. Well, I don't post, I
Reddit?
put stories. I don't go on Reddit.
Reddit is dope. And let me tell you why, all right? I'm not going to ask you to get on it, but let me explain why I've learned to enjoy it over every other platform. You can literally follow only topics you like, and you will not get any advertisements for any bullshit. So you won't get anybody's posts that aren't fucking good, because if they're bad posts on the subreddits, they downvote them and they don't even make it onto your main feed. You only see shit you like, and it can be in pictures, it can be in posts, videos. And like the other really nice thing about it is, if you're ever like curious on if something's like a legit service, or if you want to, see how other people have like, Reddit is the best review site ever. Like if I wanted to check out how the iPhone 13 was, and I'm like iPhone 13 review Reddit, you're going to find the most honest, most unfiltered reviews over there, period. Like Reddit is the place, I'm telling you. Now there's the other aspect of that where a lot of people are up their own asses in Reddit, so you got to fucking filter that out. Be like, obviously some people are just going to be fucking stupid over there. But Reddit, I'm telling you, it's a great spot for information,
I
especially if you
believe
know
you.
the topics you want.
I think it's the structure because I found, like, I thought I found an answer. Thought I found something. Then I would go to click on it, and there's not actually an answer there. And I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
I
that
know
was
what you mean.
useless. Thanks for that. And then I try to go to the next one, and it's like a different but sort of adjacent I'm like, where am I?
Yeah.
Can I go reset back to like my original? And I was like, fuck this. And I went to Google, which didn't help either, but whatever. Yeah, see, Desiree, exactly. I feel like I get lost. I really
It can
do.
be confusing for sure.
But
And
I've
that's why I
also,
said it's not for everyone.
I'm not taking the time. Like, I just, like, I need to redo like my Streamlabs, and I haven't taken the time to do it. It just takes. Ain't broke, don't fix it. However,
Yeah.
it keeps trying to break.
The other thing that's really dope is about Reddit is there's a subreddit for everything. And I mean everything. Like if you want to find a group of people that only post gifs of happy cows, there is literally a Reddit called Reddit/Happy Cows, or Happy Cow Gifs, and it's only gifs of cows like being happy as fuck. There's another fucking Reddit
I kind of want to see that.
hilarious called Reddit/ Young People YouTube, and it's just a compilation of all comments from young people on YouTube that are just batshit stupid, like the dumbest fucking things you will ever read.
Is it like the ones where they said, "Oh, it was really nice. Who's this Paul McCartney guy? It's so good that this whatever the band was that like
Dumber? Hold on,
put
let me
him
find
out there,
some for
put him out there. Like, thank you for trying to Paul McCartney should probably blow up over this. It's like
It's similar things to this, yes, but
steps or
hold up.
Ozzy. Oh, was it there one about Ozzy too?
There's been a million good ones. Like some of them are literally just stupid ones like this. Like this one says here, so it's just the same guy replying to himself. I'll fucking read it. But it literally says, Walter Clemens, I like fire trucks and monster trucks. A reply from Walter Clemens, and then it just says Walter. Like it's just dumb shit you'll find like that. That's just so fucking stupidly funny. Like, hold on, let me find a good one here.
Well, while we wait, I have a funny one where my brother-in-law, we told him, like, you ever see like on like some cars how there's those weird little like beads sort of on the steering wheel?
Yeah.
We told him that was Braille for blind drivers, and he believed it.
Yeah, are you
We
talking about
actually
the
had to
little,
tell him.
are you talking about the little divots in the side of the road where if you like go off the little divots in the side of the road where if you like go off to the side of the road,
No, 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 no.
or
It
are you
was
talking about on the steering wheel itself?
it's on the actual steering wheel. There's like some cars have these tiny little like beads, like just like by the horn
Yeah.
or whatever. And we told him it was for blind drivers. And he's, oh, that makes sense.
My mom told me and my sister as children, like I was probably 5 and she was like 9, but she told us that the bumps on the side of the road when you get out of your lane that's supposed to wake you up if you're like falling asleep, that those were for blind drivers. That way they could know how to stay in the line.
That's
And I believed that
funny.
shit until I was like 10, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm blind. Blind? That doesn't make sense.
Well, to be fair, you were younger.
Yeah, no, for sure, but still.
Thankfully, I'm not on there. Like, you're not gonna find me. Like, I'm glad that I'm not like have a big following, an artist that has like all of these haters on there that are just like going nuts. You know. I hate cat thread. I'm sure there might be one somewhere. Fuck, I don't know. Hey, still thinking about me. Just saying. But no, I should get it. I always say I want to go on Twitch, and I also say I want to try Reddit and all these different things. You know, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Just having
One step at a time.
first step is going to be fixing Streamlabs because technical difficulties were a lot. Oh, and I'm sure nobody else did either. So that's gonna be my first thing because you know.
Thanks.
Yeah, I got to get on Twitch too. I remember someone, I forget who, someone in Discord offered to help me. So I have to go through my messages, but I don't like Twitch as a platform. Just the whole interface, the way it's set up. Like, it's good, but it's probably just because I'm not used to it. I hate everything that's new.
No, that's how I am too,
Kick
man.
people
Like,
out of your yard by spraying them with the hose. Do you do that?
get off my lawn, you kids.
Get
And hoodlums.
Oh my god.
out of here.
That's the last thing I need to hear right now is both of y'all doing old man voices.
I can do Herbert the Pervert. No, I can't.
Y'all like popsicles?
Oh, that's perfect.
I got a whole mess of popsicles in my basement.
Oh my god, dude, that's too good.
What you laughing at, cat?
Yeah, I can't.
You got the whistle down perfectly.
Just waiting for the paper boy to bring me some good news.
Bruh, that's too good.
Oh,
Get out of here, you bastard.
Yes, hello, I'd like an ice cream and no sprinkles. But every sprinkle I find, I shall kill you.
Savage. It's unscripted.
Do you know Jimmy Valmer from South Park?
I don't think so, no.
The stuttering guy with the crutches?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Jimmy, yeah. Oh god.
What are you, guys? Ninjas or pussy? Wow, what a terrific audience. I mean, come on.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love, she said.
Oh, dude, that episode was to die for, bro. Holy
Oh my
shit.
god, yeah.
My favorite
Yeah.
character is Butters. He's the best.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
So many things. Do you have time? I can tell you.
This is a form of therapy, these
Yeah.
podcasts. So,
It's nice just to unwind and be fucking weird.
Oh, I embrace the weird. Let your freak flag fly. Let's fucking go. Here for it. I can't do voices. I'm not I don't have like the talent to end my voice in a weird
What you
way.
do is just practice.
I don't want
Think
to.
about it. All it is your vocal cords vibrating in different tones until you match one. Like
So,
literally all I did to
vocal
learn a
reverb?
character's yeah, a little bit and you might have to add a little reverb. But like that's literally all I did to learn characters' voices. I would just like they would say something and then I would just say it the same over and over until I'd match that pitch and I was like, "Oh, I get how they're doing this." That's all it is. Just training yourself. Anyone can do it.
I believe it. I believe that people pretty much anything. I don't think that it's. I think there's a lot of things. Well, I mean, not everybody can have a child.
These days, I
Yeah.
mean, hey, anything is possible thanks to
But-
modern science.
My point is that like that's one of those things where I have absolutely not sorry for this. I don't fucking want to.
Yeah, fair. No, it's totally fair.
I just don't want to. Like, I work, I got my kids, I do this at the community, I mod for other people, I read my books, and I don't know how I have any hours in the day. So,
Yeah, I just talk to myself in voices sometimes, and it's fun. Like,
I can't. I got my kids, and they're like evil and mean, and they will tell me that I'm butchering it or like, what is your
well,
problem?
you don't have to do it out loud. Sometimes I do it in my head, and then I do it quietly to myself.
I just did one right there.
There you go. See,
Christopher Walken.
And
It
it
said,
feel
more
good.
cowbell. More cowbell. I got a fever.
Walken's kind of hard. I can't do him. Matters to me most. Like, it's so fucking weird.
I get this huge chunk of metal up my ass.
Why that line?
I don't remember. It's from a movie. I can't remember. Oh Jesus, what movie was
It
that?
almost
SNL.
sounds like something out of Joe Dirt or something.
Or
Hold on.
SAL,
I need
Sunday-
to-
Stab him in the
Sunday
face with a
afternoon live.
soldering iron.
Oh my.
Christopher.
Oh my
As
god.
artists, you guys are actually, you've trained yourself
Yeah, here we go.
consistently to do that kind of stuff, to bend your
Pulp
voice in
Fiction.
different
That's
ways.
what it was. What a great scene. Oh man,
From what?
it's from Pulp Fiction.
Oh really?
Yeah, the fucking watch. Oh man, yeah. It's a good
Oh
one.
god, yeah.
Yeah, you remember.
That was Pulp Fiction.
Oh no, have my headphones gone silly again?
Touch something. You can't touch
Damn it.
things.
Why does it hate?
Now he can't hear his own impression.
I don't think you can hear anything.
He looks confused.
Fuck again?
Did he just break his headphones?
Did they?
I'm wireless, baby. I don't know how it happened, but here I go.
What the hell?
Oh yeah, I can still hear shit. Let's go.
I thought you broke
Oh,
him. I was
baby,
like,
you're
what just happened?
Now it somehow fixed itself.
The audio sounds different though? Is it? Oh wait, no, you're
Oh.
talking about the headphones. My dumbass.
Yeah.
Why does the audio sound different for me?
Does
That's
it?
so weird.
So
Yeah.
it's not different.
Oh, now you sound normal. It's probably because you're away from the mic.
Yeah.
It's so fucking weird.
Impression and shit.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, guys do this all the time. You adjust your voice to fit within, you know, cadence or a flow or, you know, the lyrics or sing-songy, whatever it is. It's something you
Yeah.
do all the time. I'm not
100%.
saying that makes it any, it just is what it is. So you guys do it all the time. So it would make
Yeah.
sense that you're more capable of being able to kind of fall into doing other voices.
That makes a lot of sense. I've never thought of it like that. Oh, this
Yeah, I
is why
mean,
I like having these conversations.
well, that's basically what singing is too. It's about finding the way you want your throat to be shaped for certain syllables. And then, you know, then you obviously you got to figure out what's going on in your mouth too, like how you're like how hard your syllables are, if you want them to be said more lightly, or if you want them to be,
Yeah.
you know, it's really just throat and mouth control, which I'm
For
sure
sure,
everyone in the
too.
chat is going to turn into something dirty.
Oh no, that's just me.
If you're singing it too, then you also, well, I mean, even if you're rapping it as well, you especially got to worry about proximity effect then too, and you got to learn how to be conscious of all of that when you're recording and, you know, performing. Like,
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
But on the
There's
flip
a
Yeah,
whole
there
lot of
is a
shit
lot going
with
on.
this.
on the flip side, you know, there's people don't get it and people like to give people shit for this. Like people love to say, "Oh, you sound like." Okay, number one, we label things so they make sense in our mind space so that we get it and we
Right.
have something. It's just what we do as humans. We put things in boxes and it's like, okay, well, you want to affiliate it with something you already understand so that you can understand it better. Whether it creates a new box, that's different. But people get mad. They're like, "Oh, well, you sound like," say, for example, a lot of people, "Oh, you sound like Eminem." Okay. Um, everybody, I don't care who you are, emulates someone else when they're singing, for the most part. For the most
Yeah.
part. You didn't, not everyone, especially in the beginning, gets their flows and cadences. Let's just pick that out of the sky. Oh, and let's get that
Right.
one too. It comes from somewhere because it's something that you're like, I'm gonna try that out. And then you can just change it and eventually you can come up with them on your own. But in the beginning, you know, everything is influenced. And but at this point, there's so many, it's so oversaturated with music and beats and all this stuff. There's no way you're not gonna sound like, him a Bobby over there, on the other side of the world. It could sound just like him. You don't know.
So I don't remember who the the singer was. I want to say it was either Kurt Cobain or Chester Bennington, one of the two. But they said that whenever they were writing new music, they would only listen to like Britney Spears or some shit like that, like some fucking like completely different from what they made. And I was like, that's so dumb. And they said they do that because in that way they weren't pulling like that sound. They were making their own music and making their own sound. They were, listening to something totally off from what they would do, so they couldn't emulate that. And I think that's something that I try to do a lot. One thing that I do when I listen to music now, like when I get in the headspace, I'll literally only listen to beats for like a month, because like I don't want to hear, like I feel bad because I kind of like avoid the artist community then, because I don't want to hear their shit and like get in, like have that getting, oh, I kind of heard that like sound, and then like unconsciously I emulate something from them. It's like I'll literally go through and listen to jazz or like classical music to get in that like kind of headspace, because there's nothing to it. It's just raw sound, and it just, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, like you
does that
said,
make sense?
it's unconsciously. Because it is a go-to. It is what happens. It happens. And I just hate that people give people crap for it all the time. Of course, there's a chance that you've heard something that sounds along the same lines and in the same, atmosphere as something else. And people like to be like, oh my God, you sound like, it's like, where the hell do you think this shit comes from? Do you think at
Right.
this point in time that you can't sit there? Like, they say that however many people are doing exactly what you're doing at this exact moment somewhere else in the world. Like you have twins that are doing exactly the same thing, making these same hand movements that I am at this exact same time, explaining to somebody that they're doing this. Like
Right.
it's inevitable, right? So you can't tell
Exactly.
me that.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
I completely agree. And Honestly, it's just a matter of like how good your memory is, because like even the greatest albums of our lifetime are blatantly stealing things from other people.
Oh
Like
yeah.
a really good example of that was the song "Karma Police" by Radiohead. If in the documentary about them making it, they actually show you the song that inspired it, and the piano part is almost verbatim what it was, and it's like a song I think from like the 60s or the 50s. So it's almost stolen, that piano part. But
Well, and then,
it's a matter of like, I think what artists are supposed to do is not add insult to inspiration, build
right.
upon things. Not It's not more about coming up with something completely original, because there's nothing original under the sun. It's about building upon ideas and taking it in creative and interesting directions.
Yeah, and I think it can go on any end of the spectrum. You can have original ideas. You can build on things, and it's like it's truly hard in today's time to be original anyway. It's like so many people have done things in general, like and like how much can you truly say, how much can you truly do differently? But it's like what you said about adding a certain it's like adding a little bit to the recipe, a little bit to the cooking, the big bowl of chili.
Yeah, throwing in your little twist, you know?
Yeah, and not making it taste worse. Exactly what you're saying.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I know everyone else is gonna feel a little bit different about it, but like I've felt like so many times where it's like, oh, I arrived at this idea independently, and then like years later, I would be like, oh, I hear a song where it's like, oh, this person did that song, that idea like 20 years ago. Oh, okay, interesting. you know. So it's
Yeah,
like I feel like it can be original to you, and it could be original to the listener, but there's truly nothing really original.
yeah, that's facts. And when you think about it too, in most modern day hip hop anyway, 90% of it is like sampling. Like 90% of everything you hear is sampled from something else, whether it's sampled vocals or like a instrumental sample, like how you say that the one song was a direct piano rip or whatever. It's like that shit, it's sampling. It happens literally all the time. How many samples are the exact? I've heard, you know, like I've downloaded sample packs, put together like a beat for myself. And I'm really bopping with it. I'm like, this is dope. And then I hear a mainstream artist put out a song that's almost identically on my beat. And I'm like, what the fuck? Did they steal my? And then I realized, no, it's the sample, bro. They just have the same sample and they put it to a similar sound because it sounded good. People have the same idea. It just happens.
I mean, and the reason
Yeah,
it sounds
exactly.
good is because the person that thinks it. So, I
Exactly.
mean, it would make sense that more than one person would come to the same
Exactly.
I love this great. This is not a green screen. This backgrounds. I love
Yeah.
how it makes it look like I have no shoulders. I look like I'm.
it, yeah, it does cut it off there at the top.
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice.
It's hard on my phone because it's like cuts off half the screen.
I had to wear my. This is my merch. My elsewhere.
Hey, it's fucking dope. Oh,
But
Yo, bad merch.
no, I mean we've been going about 2.5 hours at this point. I think my 8-year-old is probably gonna head spin around if I don't make her some.
Yeah, I gotta go grab some food. I'm hungry and high as fuck.
But I just want to say thank you to everybody that has been here. Thank you, Nampson, for coming through for us at such short notice because we
course.
just get today.
Thank you for having me.
I figured I needed to move fast, so
Yeah,
lock him in while I
definitely. My
could. Be like,
schedule changes all the time.
exactly. That's what I
No,
figured.
this was a lot of fun, man. It was good to talk to you.
And one of
Hell
these
yeah,
days,
I
I'm
had a
actually
good
going to
time.
arrange it. Nampson, I want to get you on a podcast with Rachel.
Rachel.
Rachel Geek.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I'm
anybody
down
that
with
heard
it.
me say that's in the chat knows exactly what I'm talking about and why. Because she is all about mental health, and she absolutely, hands down, believes in a lot of these different, the same things that you're talking about when it comes to benefits and the mental not positivity, benefits that they can get from like psychedelics
Yeah.
and things of that nature. She's super intelligent. She's amazing. And she's a badass artist. So I think that would be fire. I think having you two guys talk, like I would just
Yeah, I feel like you guys would hit it off, and it would be an interesting conversation for sure.
absolutely, you know, to
Set
have
it up.
and she when it comes to like her journey and her her mental journey and life journey, and when it comes to some of the things that you're saying, I've heard her say before, and so it really, I think it would be kind of cool. Yeah, they heard it now.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that would be fire. But I appreciate your time, and I appreciate everybody that stuck through here. At any point, stopped in, comes through later, and thanks for sharing a song with us that isn't released.
Of
That was
course.
fire.
Thank you guys for letting me.
Yeah,
do it.
that's super dope, super dope. But yeah, let's get the fuck out of here and stuff our faces.
Yeah, that's the plan. Appreciate y'all again.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we
Into
love
the
y'all,
chat,
and
we'll see y'all
Yeah.
elsewhere.
he said.